Welcome back, everyone. The Minister of Information and Culture, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, said that with President Muhammadu Buhari piloting the affairs of Nigeria, the country is in very safe and competent hands. Hence, there is no cause for alarm. The chairman of the APC also said, look, we cannot go back to the PDP years that Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari is listening and not deterred by what people are saying on the sideline. He will perform. Those are the assurances from the party chairman and the government. Well, let's get the conversation restarted. Perhaps I've approached the very end of the program. Allow my panel to round up their thoughts on this one. Let me quickly allow Mr. Abdullahi to give us his closing remarks on the program. As it stands right now, it does look like it's going to be a very tough contest. People say President Muhammadu has always had, Muhammadu Buhari has always had 12-10 million votes in the bank for him. Will that count in 2019? Quickly, if you round up your thought on the program tonight.
Yeah, thank you, Sean. Yeah, that assessment is fairly correct. He always have those votes, but more than that, I think 2019 it's not going to be much different from 2015. Actually, if any, I think President Muhammadu Buhari, when he decides to run, he's going to add to these votes, and this is the reason why. I'll tell you why. Because before 2019, I mean, yeah, earlier, what actually brought the votes, 15 million votes, were just Alliance and his own votes. But now, we saw people decamping, defecting from other parties to APC. These people are coming with their supporters. Okay. And more than anything, this government has proved what they could do. Just forget about the lies, forget about the propaganda about what this government is.
Mr. Abdullah, yes, we have to come to the other members of the panel. Mr. Akin Oshintokun, if you look at the statistics of our votes and election in Nigeria, especially for 2015, do you think that should President Buhari run, there's someone in Nigeria who can defeat him at the polls?
So, of course. I mean, look, it's going to be a referendum on his government. So, it's going to Nigeria. That's what will decide the election. And look, I don't know how else to gauge people's opinion. From all the corners of the country, the north, south, everywhere, everybody is giving thumbs down. So, okay. I personally am here to see, I don't see the rosy picture that his campaigner is painting.
Mr. Adigba, your closing remarks, as a political scientist, someone who studied all the elections and see what this man stands in the history of the 4 elections he's run in the past 20 years or so, what do you see?
Sean,
quickly.
Look, nobody expects the president to boil an ocean in less than 3 years. But the reality on ground is that, look, when he ran in 2015, he had no record to run on. Now he's got a record to run. And that is what we call incompetitus, the disease of the incumbent. I think he has a very good chance of winning because it comes down to who is running against him and what he brings to the table. So I am not going to stand here and say he will have it as rosy as it was in 2015. However, we must note this. The president does not need to win the entire country to be president. He needs to win 25% in 2/3 of states and then simple majority. Okay. That's all that is required.
I'll ask you this, perhaps it's a very difficult one. Yes. And he says that should the president decide not to run, where does this leave the APC and Nigeria?
It gives the APC, before I answer that, let me just drop 4 figures. Number 1, 70 million. Number 1, 2, 30 million. 3, 15 million. And 4, 55 million. Over 70 million people have registered. Only about 30 million voted. The president had about 15 million. There is 55 million. If INEC succeeds in giving these 55 million people the confidence that elections will be free, fair, and credible, I think APC, PDP, the coalition, all of them should busy themselves on how to approach this 55 million and forget their little enclaves.
Because we need to go now. It's a pleasure. This is perhaps one of the shows that I've enjoyed the most with the quality of people that have spoken on the program today. I must thank Mr. Aliyu Abdullah, member of the Buhari support group. Thank you so much for your time. Mr. Akin Oshintokun is the DG Media of the Coalition for Nigeria Movement. Thank you. Mr. Curtis Adigba, political analyst and a lawyer. And Mr. Inya Etok Ezekiel, the DG of Nigeria First Group. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me.
And many thanks, Nigerians, wherever you may be watching. Thank you for being part of the show today. I'm Shion Wakimbale. Bye-bye.